Good morning, Sam.
Good morning.
So far, you've done for me some pieces of written work.
Yep.
Which is great. I'd like to look at something else in the units here, which are the be able to outcomes. That means that I'll be needing to do an observation with you. And I've printed off a couple of your units here. So if we look at Unit 3, which is working in a business environment, if we go right the way down here to Outcome 8,
Yep.
that's be able to support sustainability and minimise waste in an organisation. Can you see that's a be able to?
Yep.
So I'll do an observation for that. And it's all about when you're working using technology to minimise waste in the office.
Right.
Okay, and the other unit I'd like to look at the same time is Unit 24, which is your making and receiving telephone calls unit.
Okay.
Again, if we go all the way to Outcome 4, this is another be able to, so it's another observation, and it's about you making a phone call or receiving a phone call and then what you do with the information. So can you just describe to me what you do at the moment? When a call comes into the office, you take the call, just talk me through the process.
Well, generally, what I would do is, if it's just kind of quite a brief call, just a message for someone, then I would probably take the caller's name and maybe some contact details and just put it on a post-it note. Or maybe if it was a bit more detailed, then I'd probably have some kind of contact form that I'd fill in. Again, just getting basic details like the name, contact details, but exactly what it is they're looking for, and I'd obviously put it forward to the relevant person. Straight away there, I'm seeing that there might be some issues around wasting paper, if nothing else. Yeah.
Could we possibly, when a call came in, log it or in a sort of a database, a spreadsheet, or maybe even straight in an email and flick an email to that person, so when they do get into the office, they open up their emails and there's a message.
Yeah.
That would minimise waste, wouldn't it? Yeah?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So do you think we could try that?
Yeah, certainly.
Right, so I'm going to do an observation and it's going to cover these outcomes. I'll make a note of it in a moment in the sheet here.
Yep.
So it's going to cover the outcomes I mentioned. So we're looking at Unit 3. So the unit will be Unit 3. But obviously we don't like to do one unit at a time. So whilst I'm there, I'm also going to be thinking about Unit 24. What's the activity? So it's an observation of receiving a telephone call, because that's all we need to do. So it's not going to be long, but I'll probably watch you receive several.
What Steve has done here is use a holistic approach to Sam's assessment. Steve has looked at the requirements of the assessment criteria and checked what other criteria from other units could be linked together. The task plan has a clear sequence, from answering the phone through to the recording of the telephone messages. Holistic assessment is great because it is cost and time effective. If you have to travel to observe a candidate at work, you want to be able to get as much evidence as you can in as few visits as possible. If you give the learner loads of assessment tasks, some of which are similar or repetitive, they will lose motivation and become overwhelmed.
Now, what we need to be doing is thinking, when can we do this? Let me have a look in my diary here. But I've got Monday the 3rd of November free. Is that any good for you?
Monday the 3rd. I actually think we've got a staff meeting that morning, and then I think I've actually got a tutorial in the afternoon, so that probably won't be possible on that day. Would a week later be okay?
Let's have a look. The 10th, I've got a few things on the 10th. If I was with you for just after lunch, I know you guys have the office closed down 1 till 2. So if I came to see you just after 2 o'clock and then spent the afternoon with you,
that should be absolutely fine. Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay, well that's what I'm going to put down then. So I'm going to do it from 2, that's 1400 to 5, 1700.
There are key factors you have to consider when planning assessment. Are the times and dates suitable for the learner, assessor and employer? Is the planned assessment too early or too late on in the course? You have got to decide how best to evidence certain criteria. Does it have to be an observed activity? Is it best to give the learner a written test? Will the planned activity need adapting to meet the needs of your learners? When planning assessments, it is good practice to use a range of assessment methods. Are there any criteria that lend itself to work-based observation? Are there any sections that could be achieved by writing multiple choice exam questions? Or are there some evaluate type criteria that can only really be evidenced by an extended piece of writing? Remember, the task you create should be easy to understand for the learner. If the instructions are too complicated, you will not get the desired outcome and it will take a long time to re-explain the task, often many times. You have got to consider your own time constraints as an assessor. Will it take a huge amount of time to mark and cross-reference? Will the learner have access to the required resources to complete what is being asked? This concludes the tutorial on holistic approaches to assessment and key factors to consider when planning assessment. Thank you.